You know, it just occurred to me that we needed to do this one more time. We've already made videos talking about the QMJHL Halifax Mooseheads reunion, how Nathan MacKinnon, superstar stud in the NHL, is getting his old line mate back in Jonathan Drouin. Awesome. We also made a video a few days later, or no, a few days ago, but a few weeks after that last video, we made a second video talking about the OHL, the Erie Otters, and the reunion over there because Connor McDavid just got his line mate back in Connor Brown on the Edmonton Oilers. Now, we're talking about one more, baby. We're going over to the Toronto Maple Leafs and the London Knights. And I know there's been a London Knights connection. You could say there's a Sioux Greyhounds connection with the Toronto Maple Leafs. But today, what we're going to be talking about is the newest acquisition from London. Or from London specifically. Is he from London? Let's see. He is born in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Okay, so not London. But the London Knights reunion of one Mitch Marner on Toronto, as well as new UFA signee, Max Domi. And this is something that I kind of happen to be ashamed to only be talking about now, because when this signing went down, I had no idea. I completely forgot this, blanked out of my mind, because they played in the OHL so long ago that this was even a link. It just happened to be so long ago. So today we're talking about Max Domi, one of the newer Toronto Maple Leafs, and his entire link with one Mitch Marner. Marner is an NHL superstar today, and we all know this. He's getting paid like a superstar. He produces points in the regular season like a superstar. 99 points, 80 games played this previous year. But from 2013-14 to 2015-16, Mitch Marner was a player on the London Knights. And he was always a pretty productive player. I mean, he was just under a point per game when he suited up for that team in the first year. And as his career went on, I remember when he was the captain in 2015-16, and he dominated the OHL alongside of Matthew Tkachuk and Christian Dvorak. That first line was so incredibly good in 2015-16. It was arguably one of the best first lines we have ever seen just in hockey in general, or at least in the junior scene, if you know what I mean. So Marner, Tkachuk, Dvorak, these guys were incredible together. Mitch Marner had 44 points in 18 games when the London Knights won the OHL championship, which is just bananas amazing. I'm pretty sure London didn't even lose like an entire series worth of games. I think they had like 2 losses the entire tournament, and it came in the first round or something like that. It was nuts just seeing how dominant they were. But earlier in Mitch Marner's London Knights days, in 2013-14 when he was a rookie, there was a different set of guys that were at the top of the team in points. The number 1 point scorer in the London Knights OHL system that year happened to be Max Domi. 93 points in 61 games played. Marner was 6th on the team in points behind the Ruperts, Bo Horvat, Chris Tierney, and of course, Max Domi. And so if you go over to Domi and see what his entire profile was like, Domi's a little bit older than Marner, and he did start out with the London Knights sooner, but by the time he had ended up leaving that team, he was also the captain, who had a very impressive resume himself. In fact, if you go to 2014-15, so Mitch Marner's draft-eligible year, this is where you had yourselves the trio of Marner, Dvorak, and Domi all getting over 100 points. The rest of the team was a little bit lower down in scoring, and you had some other guys there too, like Victor Mete, Ben Gleason, a few other names that you might recognize, but for the most part, Marner, Dvorak, and Domi in 2014-15 was just the absolute prime line for this squad. And Marner with 126 points really put his name on the map. It's why he got drafted so high in the first place. Now that Domi is on Toronto, we have ourselves articles like this being published on NHL.com. This is from a few days ago, July 22nd, written by Mike Ziesberger. The link is going to be in the description if you want to go ahead and read this. Mitch Marner is excited for a reunion with Domi on the Leafs. Let's go out there and see what Marner has to say about Domi. It's great, he told NHL.com at the recent 2023 Marner All-Star Invitational charity event. Max is a great player, but just as important, he's a heck of a human being off the ice as well. I saw it firsthand in junior in both of those seasons, and it's going to be great for our team to have someone like that on our squad. The article then brings up the other guys who bring up grit. It talks about Bertuzzi, it talks about Ryan Reeves. Marner says all those guys bring different elements to the team, but are all good along the walls. Mac's playing abilities should match our system very well given how he plays the game, so we're pumped about it. We're excited to see how it works out with our team. It should be a lot of fun. The article then gets into very Q&A sort of territory with Mitch Marner, which is where I actually kind of like it because it's easier to read. Can you discuss how Max Domi, Tyler Bertuzzi, and Ryan Reaves help forge a new look for the team? Marner says the thing is, obviously we brought in a lot of guys that throw their weight around, who aren't afraid to go to dirty areas and will do some crazy stuff out there. So we're excited. All three guys impact the game, and it gives us some flexibility in the lineup. There are some other questions going over more like Toronto Maple Leafs related things. It's all kind of the same song and dance that we've said before, so you can go ahead and read that in the description if you want to go ahead and see everything. But when it comes to this link, I'm going to be really intrigued as to seeing how the Maple Leafs are going to balance everything out. Because for Max Domi, last season, the guy had 56 points in 80 games played, which is a really good point number, honestly, especially for the dollar amount that he's at. 2 years at $3 million per. Definitely not bad, and pretty good value. Of course, though, you have to acknowledge that he was playing on two teams. He had 7 points in 20 Dallas Stars games, which isn't amazing, but then you realize that he had 13 points in 19 games in the postseason, so he really did start to produce a lot, and he had a lot of penalty minutes too. Playing with Chicago, though, the Blackhawks gave Domi a stage to really showcase his worth, which is where he got the bulk of his production this previous year, 49 points, 60 games played. We know Domi, when he is at his best, is a playmaking threat. He normally exhibits the qualities more so of a playmaker, but there was the 1 year that he had where he scored 28 goals for Montreal, that rookie season, or not rookie season, but that first inaugural year with the Habs. It was kind of crazy when you really think about it. 72 points, my goodness. Also, it feels like it was only last year, but nah, that was in 2019. That was 4 years ago. That's crazy. But already knowing about the link that Domi had with Mitch Marner back with the London Knights, when he was the captain and Marner was the hotshot young player who happened to lead the team in points, it's going to be intriguing to see where this pairing goes. If you wanted to prioritize Tyler Bertuzzi, because that guy is also coming over and he's got some offensive talent as well, the Maple Leafs have something brewing here. Honestly, like, of course you still have to go through the entire negotiation with Matthews and Nylander and then Marner and Tavares next year. It's going to be tough. But for what they already have on paper in 23-24, I like it. I don't know. I'm a Vancouver Canucks fan, so I'm not really supposed to align with anything Toronto does. But I can't go out there and discredit what they're building here. Especially with this reunion. It's just kind of nuts because, like, for me, growing up as a hockey fan that was like super into prospects earlier on, like I already told this story in the Connor Brown video, but when I was playing NHL like 14 season mode, or not season mode, GM mode, these guys were all playing in junior together, and so it would be a cool idea to try to get Marner, Dvorak, and Tkachuk and put them on the same team, on the same line in the NHL so they could replicate their success at higher levels of play. Like I did that with the Canucks. When I was playing NHL 16 GM mode, I was trying to get Besser on the same line with Schmaltz and Kajula, because with North Dakota, they were the CBS line, and you had Troy Stecher as the #1 defenseman there. And it's funny because even Tucker Pullman was on that team, I'm pretty sure. But either way, these reunions of the lines, Drouin with McKinnon, Domi with Marner, and now you have yourselves that Connor Brown, Connor McDavid thing in Edmonton. Yeah, the NHL is becoming a lot more fun, I feel. And so I wanted to go out there and make this video just going over another one of these crazy good links that we had seen. Because for Domi and Marner, it's not even like this is a revival of sorts. Domi was already pretty good last year, and Marner, of course, is Mitch Marner. For Drouin, he's got something to gain by playing with McKinnon again. Same could be said about Connor Brown. He's trying to come back from injury. But for Domi, this could just be an opportunity to, firstly, live up to his dad, because his dad played for Toronto, and now try to reunite everything with that London Magic back in the day. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. How do you feel about Max Domi heading back over to the Toronto Maple Leafs, playing with Marner, and being on that line? Maybe on that line, maybe on another line. I don't know what's going to happen depending on what happens with Bertuzzi. But thoughts in the comments section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.